Hey, I got something to say. I'm just so sick of hearing everyone complain. I know it's tough and I know there's pain, but hitting bottom is the only way to change. So I'll keep hustling, you keep struggling, bitch, I'm humbling.
There we go. It's a very, very arrogant song, this, Lee. But we are hustlers. Good day, everybody, and welcome to CryptoEMC. My name is Rudo, also known as the chart artist. With me is my trade buddy, Fibonacci Lee. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. And you?
I am great, guys. Okay, so today, how high can this relief rally go? That's a big question that we have to ask ourselves, and we're going to go into that, as well as the stock market. You know, it's clear that the Fed has painted themselves into a corner, and we want to be looking at the following options and how this is all going to play out, and obviously then convey that back to Bitcoin to try and see what else we can see on Bitcoin long term. And then, as usual, we also want to be looking at some alts. So sit back, relax, you're in good hands, guys, and let's get cracking. Lee, my friend, we are looking at a 2022 election year for the Senate's. And what does that actually mean? It means that the Fed's actually forced to be acting in the best interest of everybody that is invested in the market. So it's going to make it very hard for them to put the narrative through that the stock market needs to be correcting.
Of everybody, or of best interest for them?
Well, obviously for them. Their 401ks are in there. Everything else is, they invested in it just as much as the public, and even more so because they'll probably be part of the big money. So they cannot allow this to move against them. And I think what everybody is also pointing to is that this was merely a warning, an attempt to try and slow it down. But the reality is, if you go and look at the Fed balance sheet, it's still going up. And nothing has really changed there. So I think today, let's first have a look at the DXY, then maybe move over to the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, S&P 500, and then ultimately I think the oil is an important thing, because what do we know about oil? If oil is bullish, it shows a strong economy. So, buddy, I haven't shared my screen, and it's a little
Show me your chart and tell me the story.
Yes, let's do that. So I'm going to quickly just bring up my screen and let's start doing that. What do we have here? Share the button. Guys can see my screen. Whoops, there we go. It's on. Okay, so let's start.
It's working today.
Everything is working today, except the Bitcoin price action, frustratingly. Okay, let's start with the DXY. So we're looking at the DXY, and what I'm seeing at this stage is, and maybe let's take away and zoom in a little bit more. So what we're seeing is we're getting rejection at this what would previously be a tentative demand zone. And what we're getting is a bearish engulfing structure. And we touched on this yesterday on yesterday's feed, how these engulfing structures is an indication of when a trend can turn. And also what we said to you guys way back, for anybody that is maybe new, is when we zoom out, and remember, when in doubt, zoom out. So when we zoom out, every time we have a DXY trending down, that is a start of a bull run. This was the start of the 2016 to 17 run. This is the start, and this is the end. And this is where Bitcoin went back down to $3,000. And then we had another run, and we've been consolidating and been going sideways. And now we are close to our next stress point in the market, the imbalance, where we believe that if this is the continuation move, that 618 that Lee always talks about, if we were to short this, where would we want to short this? Where would shorts want to reload? In this area over here. We're getting close to that. And what is the DXY showing us? It's showing us that it's getting some weakness. Why? Because on the next aggressive push up, you can see that it failed to leave the range. What do I mean by that? Every time price consolidates within a lateral pattern, it leaves, it creates a new lateral pattern. Then it leaves and it creates a new lateral pattern. It leaves and creates a new lateral pattern. And this time around, it left and it fell back into this pattern. So it's showing us a sign of weakness. So I'm really happy about this, and it's setting up to us then experiencing another little bit of a positive run. Okay, but that's the DXY. There's more to it. When you look at the NASDAQ, I'm going to quickly bring that one up. Now, Lee, this is something that I think I'm going to go to the weekly for this, just to give a little bit more of a perspective for everybody there. Where's my 1 week candle? We've shown you the 23-6 strategy so many times on the stream, where when you take it from the low and you use a run, when we open and close candles below the 23.6, that's normally as an early signal that the trend is turning, and that's normally our cue to start reducing our position. And this whole correction stayed above the 23.6 as if it was planned. And that's the scary thing. So, and at this stage, what we are getting is we're getting the starts of a reversal, a nice pin bar candle, and we are trying to climb back up. Now, obviously, this is a stock market. This might play over a couple of weeks. And if this fails and we start falling below the 23.6, that's going to be our cue. That's going to be the time for us to know that maybe we need to be thinking differently. Okay, so Dow Jones, same story on the Dow Jones. I think I can speed it up from here. Everybody's got the idea. There's a low to the high. We had this big correction. We stayed above the 23.6. And at the moment, all that we can do, the same way to just try and track and see whether we're going to be making higher highs, is to flip to the daily, if you would want to, and have another flip and track it until it loses the 23.6. And at this stage, you can see that none of these candles printing is in any risk of wanting to lose it. So it's still showing us that the stock market is bullish. This was an overreaction on news that the Fed was going to lift the rate up. Okay, so then let's do one more. This is S&P 500, retrace just check 23.6. It's doing exactly the same. And then lastly, oil. Lee, something that we need to think. Oil is still looking bullish as hell, because what did we do? We retraced to the 23.6 and we back up and we're making a higher high. At that stage, one can probably bring the flip would have looked something like this. There went not even on the 23.6, made a higher high. So now we just need to adjust it and we need to keep an eye on it. And at this stage, oil is still looking strong. Remember, guys, don't overthink these type of things. Treat the trend as if it's going to last forever. And then lastly, let's just take the chart away. Lee, I've done a little bit of homework on this. And what I found is that it takes normally more than 3 rate hikes before the market turns bearish. And the previous one, I think there was 6 rate hikes before it really turned bearish. And that's something, just a little bit of a side info for you guys. So just mull over this when you start looking at people saying it's over and it's negative. Just know that we've got your back. We're going to be looking at these things daily, and we'll be able to help you guys. So on that note, please hit the like and subscribe button so that we can actually help you if you're new to this. So, and for everybody else, please share with your friends.
How many rate hikes did we get so far?
No, we haven't had any. We've only had
0, right? Yeah.
them talking about possibly doing it. So that's the end of the day. That's why I said the Fed is kind of painted in a corner there. They know what they have to do, but they cannot do anything about it. It's gone too far. Historically, information actually, if you look about the previous crazy runs that were in the stock market, at that stage, interest rates were like 15%, something crazy. And we're not even close to that. So at this stage, it's too much of an evil that will basically destroy themselves as well. So they're going to keep on printing money, whether they like it or not. That's the reality. But okay, with all this information, Lee, we looked at Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is going slow. So what does that mean for our altcoins? Let's quickly bring up Bitcoin and let's have a look at Bitcoin going slow. So I'm looking at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's kind of going slow. And it's expected in a way, because we're reaching that point where a decision now needs to be made. Are we going to go for that 41K, or is it going to move back down? Now, I don't want to dive into Bitcoin too much at this stage. I first just want to go and have a look at the BTC dominance. So if when you look at the BTC dominance, what we're getting at is that while Bitcoin is still creeping up slowly, the dominance is slowly raining down. And that tells us that the alts are getting some relief and they're experiencing somewhat of a relief rally at this stage. So that brings us to those altcoins that you had. And I think that's why we're going to have to look at those altcoins a little bit later down the stream to see whether they are getting ready to pop, or we should manage our risk around them. And then there's one more thing that I just want to share with you guys before we dive into, and let me just get that chart ready, and that is the total market cap. So when we look at the total market cap, what we're seeing at this stage is that there's a lot of resistance at around this $1.85 trillion mark. Bitcoin has had the most of the corrections done, and the alts are lagging. The alts are still overextended. So at this stage, while Bitcoin is taking a breather, and we can easily check this by putting a little bit of a fib line on it. So if we look at this, and we take it from the top to the bottom, and we use a normal fib retracement, we can see where the total market cap is sitting. It's getting close to the 618. If we then move over to the alt market, and this is now everything excluding Bitcoin. I just want to delete that fib because that's irrelevant to the discussion now. And we do exactly the same. Move it back up there. You can see that they're sitting right on the 618. And at this stage, we've got Bitcoin that is doing all the work for us. So Bitcoin is the one doing all the work for us. And if Bitcoin can break that line, the alts will then definitely start rallying back up. So at this stage, it's a waiting game. It's a little bit of a waiting game, frustratingly so, because we want to be hustling. We want to be trading. Okay, Lee, so I went through a lot of things and a lot of ideas. I think let's now slow things down and talk Bitcoin properly. So where do we see Bitcoin go within the next few days? Do you have a chart ready for us that we can quickly have a look at?
Yeah, same charts actually than yesterday. I'm still hoping or targeting on a smaller time frame this level about 41K. Reason I'm saying that is on a smaller time frame during the past weeks, especially yesterday and today, today is a little bit red, but we haven't made a lower low compared to the previous day. Okay, and from yesterday and 2 days ago, we are making higher highs, and like I said yesterday, we are even making higher highs compared to the last weekly highs. Now, if I'm bearish, okay, if I want to short this market, what is my target? Assuming I'm taking this move from that engulfing that candle here, who marks the break of this previous pivot. If I come back to this low, okay, it's normal. We are sitting right here in this reload zone for the bears. If I move my fib level a little bit higher here, we just went to tackle the first 618 line here. They were in balance here, so we have pointed out this area correctly, and that's normal. We have a little bit of a reaction here, but now if today we still manage to keep this previous day low, they have almost no choice than try to make another level higher, and that will come to 40K, and best case scenario, 40K, 41K, which is my 2 line here, and this is the area for people to load more on their shorts. Okay, we haven't even come back to test the previous pivot here at 39.6. We just stopped at 39.5 or 39.4, 39.3, sorry, yesterday. So I would love to, to see Bitcoin coming back, at least test this previous pivot at 39.6, this one here. Okay, so for me, short term, I'm still bullish. I would like to see higher highs until these levels. But once we get to those levels here, this is where, the decision needs to be made. Are we gonna give up our long position? Are we gonna hedge our long position for another with another short, or are we gonna just take profit first and see if the bulls have enough strength to go through this area? If we go through this area, then the target is gonna be up here like 44, 46 easily. But first we need to go through this zone. This is the battle zone. This is the the area where bulls and bears need to fight like heavily here. So do I want to be within that fight with them? I don't think so. I'm just gonna try to cover my position or close my longs and wait for them to give me a resolution.
Yes, guys, I think the important thing is it's not our battle to fight.
Yeah.
That I would actually, I would really look at and saying it in that way. If you think about it,
I don't have enough ammunition.
We're too small. So we really cannot be fighting that battle. It's their battle to fight, and we need to align ourselves to take the right. So sometimes it might look like we're going to be jumping sides, but it's fine. We get to do that. That's our advantage.
I mean, short-term trade for me, it's good. I would like, because I believe in those areas. I believe that even bulls would want to go to those areas again, offer more bids and more business within this imbalance, like at least here, 40,006. At least to capture more liquidity. I mean, offer more business and then having more, shorts filling their orders, and then maybe they're gonna smash it down. And in that case, where we are here now, we are at 38.5. My stop from previous low is at 38,000. So I've got a little bit of risk here, but my gain is much more than the risk that I'm taking. So if I have to scalp trade, my bias is still for today and throughout the end of the week until we touch this zone. I'm still bullish. But now, if we lose those levels, where's the next target here for me to try to counter?
I've got something.
Yeah,
I've got something if we lose it. So this is my secret weapon, and I love this tool, the point and figure. It's something that got developed by Wyckoff, and it's a volatility printer. So it doesn't work on a normal a candle with a time it's open closes. It actually prints as price changes direction. So I really like it because it can hover on the same candle or the same row for days at an end if there's not enough movement, and then print something else. And what I've done is at the back I've just layered the cloud that we gave you guys, the cloud with a specific code set up in the CryptoEMC indicator that we shared with you guys. I use that cloud just as an example to show you guys how powerful that is, because at the moment the cloud is giving us a long flat level, which is resistance, and we are hovering it around that level. So this is now where short sellers and longs are battling it out. So, and for me at this stage, if we do not get where we would want to go, and this is to try and get to this upper end, this is where this magnet is sitting, this giant magnet that wants to try and pull the price up. If we don't get there and we have to first go on sale a little bit more, the target that I would want to see is at around 34, between 35.9 and 34. It's quite a wide berth, but that would be the imbalance. That would be the area that anybody that bought this dip would try and defend it. And remember, the public did definitely not buy this dip. So we're going to have to think about that as well. So if they were to pull this back all the way back from when we went over here, this buy over here, before we went back to 69 and made the all-time high, all those defending, and you can see the imbalance is sitting right over there. We're battling it out in that range and we're filling the gap. So I'm really excited about this, and I will be comfortable if the day fails to wait for a buy opportunity within this range. Okay, Lee, anything else you want to add there?
Nothing much. Basically, I was trying to anticipate a fib. I mean, guys, this is not the way of using a fib, definitely not. But if we stop at 40,500, let's say on this move, so if I draw my fib like this on 40,500, and I want to come back and buy within my golden zone, that's exactly this imbalance area here at 35.7 and 34.4. So yeah, I mean, definitely an area to watch this one.
Okay, so let's simplify. We want to see Bitcoin try and hit 40,500. Then we are comfortable to go and buy it again at 34 to 36, between that area, and that will still be that will still not invalidate the possibility for Bitcoin to try and hit that 45 imbalance area that turns the trend around. That's that higher high for the first time in months. and that's the key. So if we were to take this whole discussion back one step, the stock market is showing us that it's bullish. Oil showing us that it's bullish. The Fed's painted in the corner. The NASDAQ is bouncing strong. Everybody overreacted. And what happened with the Fed, the FOMC meeting or the FOMO meeting? Everybody FOMO'd out, and now they've got egg on their face. So they're going to want to try get back in because this market is not ready to go. Yes, there's another meeting coming maybe a month or two down the road. I don't know the exact date, but there's gains to be had in the meantime. Okay, Lee, with this being said, I think let's maybe look at some alts. You want to be doing some alts with me? Well, I should not ask you a question because you kind of have no choice in it. Either there's that or you leave the stream. So let's bring up some alts here. All right, guys. So way back, we looked at a lot of alts. I threw a tweet out to everybody and I said, guys, send me coins. Let's quickly have a look at what you guys are looking at and see what we can do on that. And that was a very quick, aggressive little session that we went through. And now I went through all those coins again, and I want to highlight a few that I really liked. So, and then the ones that did have buys, we did give buys, and the ones that we weren't ready for, we told it straight. We said, it's not time. So the reality is, if you start throwing coins in the chat, please do. If it doesn't fall on part of this list, the high probability is that it might be something that we're not interested in at this stage, because the trader eye and us are saying is we need a few set of conditions to happen. And although everything can rise a little bit at this stage, there's still going to be enough time to get those and get them with a proper risk plan behind them. Okay, so the first one that I've got my eye on is this one, Luxo. So we looked at Luxo. And we explained that we want to break the key momentum, and then we want to have it in that buy. So it went into the buy, and it's currently up 50% from the top of the buy zone, 43%. So that's a nice one. Lee, but how are we going to manage this one now? What is it that we normally do to try and see how far we must ride this before we need to get out?
23.6.
That's the 23.6. So where did the move happen? That's the move. And as you can see, the 23.6 is still being fought. So I'm going to keep on riding the 23.6. Now, the argument is you can do this and say, oh, you would have been out there. But what was the question? An open, close, and then a sell on the test. So you would have been out on this level over here if you applied it earlier. And remember, what we do is we don't have crystal balls. We can't tell the future. You would have reduced your position slightly, because that's all that we needed to do, and see what the rest does. Okay, so at this stage, it's still trying to make a higher high. If it can make a higher high, great. If not, and this becomes like a triple top on these 3 days, we'll probably go back down to the 618 again, and we're going to have another opportunity to grab it. So this is a nice one, and I enjoyed this. Now, who of you guys got in on this one? Give me a 777 in the chat. Let's quickly see who of you guys got in on this one. And I'm going to quickly remove my screen. And while you guys are getting those, and we're looking for that to happen in the chat, there's an announcement that I think we need to make, Lee, and it's about a partnership that we struck with a company called Prime XBT.
Yeah.
And maybe you can give everybody a quick background or quick walkthrough why you phoned me up and say, hey, listen, this is important. We need to talk and look at this.
Well, I'm a trader, so it's always good to look at the new platform, new features. I've been, using, almost all of them. And then for me, that two platforms that's really standing out, and Prime XBT was one of them because of one specific feature that they had on the platform, which is the copy trade.
Yeah, I want to stop you there. Look at the comments. Yeah. Look at the comments in the chat. Missed it. Nope. No. That's why we like this platform. Continue on with your copy trade.
Yeah, so if I miss that one, and I don't think Luxos is on Prime XBT, but they offer a really nice feature that we might use. We're still getting familiar with the platform as we speak. We have founded our accounts, And the copy trade features, I believe that it might, be beneficial for some of you guys, and that's the main reason why we wanna give it a try. And yeah, if there's an interest in this community, having a copy trade features, copying mine trade and Bulldoze trade, knowing that we're gonna use this account both together. We found it. I think we can say it. We found it with $1,000. And then we can try to bring that $1,000 as high as possible by using some scalp trade and long-term trade. One of the problems on that platform is the copy trade features is also capped. And I found it nice because I still believe that, when the train is full, it's not going to move. So from what I understood, there's only like $10,000 cap on that function. So yeah, let's see. I'm waiting for the feedback. If you guys like it, we will try it. If there's no interest, then then I will use it myself and then try to and one of the features that I really like on Prime XBT is also we can trade stocks.
Yes. So we can diversify a little bit. So I see a comment here: is the referral important? Well, guys, the thing is, we want to help the public, but come on, we spend a lot of hours in here, and it's not like at the end of the day, it's time that takes us away from trading. And yes, there's an affiliate plan built in there. Yes, there's a referral. There's going to be something thrown our way. And it's not that we try and we want to milk the audience. We are here putting our mouths where the money where our mouths are. But in the end of the day, a little bit of a thank you and in a financial way goes to our family in a sense, because it keeps us away from trading if we're busy preparing for streams and so forth. So in the end of the day, being monetized in a sense is an essential evil that everybody that's creating this needs to kind of think of. We can put ads in YouTube if we want to, but nobody wants to jump onto a screen and listen to that Greg Secker. I don't know who the hell that guy is, but on every bloody YouTube that I go, his face pops up and he's got this conference that's going to happen. And I don't want to be part of that crowd just yet. So the thing is, yes, there's going to be something like that. And yes, please use the referral link. And what the referral link does, it gives you access to the Discord. We said we want to help, but we want to help guys, and we want to make sure people are serious, and we want to help them in a condition that we can control. So if we throw this out and millions of people just sign up, and 10 people listen to the way we say that it needs to get done, and the others just kind of follows the instructions loosely, and they lose money, it's going to hurt our reputation. So we want to make sure that when we help you guys, it actually becomes proper help. So at this stage, we're testing it. Seats is limited. Sorry about that. We're working on trying to get to a bigger area, but let's test it. Let's find a little bit of feet. It's not like the market's running away with us. So jump on, guys, and yes, get that link and get that information to the Discord so that we can put you on a group and so we can make sure that you don't mess up and throw money down the water, because that's not the goal here. Okay, Lee, Prime XBT. So now everybody's got a good idea of why we want to do this and how we're going to build on this. I think what is next on our list, we want to be looking at Aave, I think, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to quickly bring up the Aave chart. And for everybody, if we didn't say it, all the details will also be in the description of the video. Okay, cool. And then what we will do is we'll be creating some educational videos on this as well, how we should use it and how we are going to use it. And we'll make those available for you guys as well. Okay, so let's quickly have a look at Aave. I'm going to bring up Aave for you guys. This is what was said the last time round. So we looked at Aave, and Aave gave us signs that it wants to start changing its colors. It wants to start turning bullish. And what happened? With the whole Bitcoin reversal, it failed and it fell down to our next area that we were looking at.
You know what that level is?
This level.
Mm-hmm.
That's your sweet spot level, isn't it, Lee?
887.
There
exactly.
You go.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's Lee's sweet spot level, and that's how the FIBs don't lie. The FIBs never lie. So we're looking at Aave, and Aave has got some things happening in the background of it, and we don't want to dive into that too much because let's put about this. Any bullish news that you're going to be experiencing now is going to be the same type of news if Apple were to phone you up and say, listen, guys, bullish news. We literally just upgraded the factory and we're going to be making more iPhones. That's not necessarily bullish news for you guys, because what's going to happen is down the line, When they can give more supply, there's less of a waiting room for people to get to the new product. That's only when it's going to really show. And that's the type of bullish news that we're getting in with a lot of these projects at this stage. It's stuff that is crazy. It's happening now, but it's not moving the price, because the reality is it's something that's only going to impact the true value of that specific project down the road. So be careful when you look at news thinking that this is bullish and it's going to happen today, because sadly, this is not the time to do it. When we're trending bullish crazy, that type of news is normally what people need that were still afraid of entering the pump. That's the type of news that just puts them over the top and let them risk their money, throw override their cognitive ability to say it's not the right time, and then get in because I have to. Something inside me saying so. So just remember this. And so there's good news on this, and I'm excited about it. But the reality is it's going to kick in probably way down the road first. Okay, so that's the RV for us. If we wanted to take an entry on RV and trade it as a scalp, I'm going to flip to a smaller time frame. Lee really liked the 4 hour. And the argument was, you can see we lost at 23.6. So we've got a 38.2 or the 618 to go and test. So if price should find itself into this range over here, that would be a good area for you to buy. Ultimately, this is the daily time frame buy zone, not the hour. So as a scalp, for this week probably, that would be as good as it gets. But long term, this area can still be a good buy zone for us. So don't forget about that. So if you're not a scalp trader, don't FOMO in at this range, because you will probably be in some serious drawdown at some stage and you're going to feel uncomfortable. So we'll get that once we have a little bit more info. But what we do have is we've got higher highs, boom, boom, making higher highs, making higher lows. It is looking good. And that's the condition to what I would be able to take this trade. Lee, then the next one that you've got for us is an update, or are you going to go to the hot new coin first? What do you want to do, my friend?
We can go quickly through Link, those 2 updates first. I mean, 3 updates from yesterday. Nothing really new for me on Link. We still, I need to change this level here. We move 1 day above that. I think Link, we just wicked below. We did make a lower low compared to yesterday's. So I'm not, I like that chart because I'm not trading Link yet. If they want to go lower, I will probably try to grab Link with a little bit more of retrace and coming back maybe to this zone at $15, $15.63. And I still have those targets here marked with my yellow line here at around 23, 22, and 21. I just want to another confirmation that this is the bullish trend. Okay, we did make a lower low compared to yesterday. That's why I'm not really liking Link today. Let's see what's tomorrow and the next week. I will keep it for next week if there's any big move. If it goes above the previous high, we're going to turn bullish again, especially above this previous weekly high. But for now, Link has lost a little bit of momentum. But still, not trading zone, not even on scalp on my side, on Link today. Cardano is holding strong from yesterday's bullish candle. We did not make a lower low. All right, so previous day low, we're gonna change this to there. We are still holding yesterday's low, and today we're making a higher high. So for me, Cardano, if you wanna test Cardano, it is in the buy zone area right here. We tested previous support. And if you buy here, your stop is at like previous day's low, 1.1034. And then, the target for the bulls will be going to tackle those weekly highs. And why not, like I said before, at 134. Okay, and if your dominance chart is playing out, if Bitcoin is going to lose a little bit momentum or consolidate even a little bit longer at 38 towards the weekend, maybe those odds is going to pump to those targets. Luna. We were waiting yesterday also on Luna to give us a clear trend. Previous day low, I'm just going to change. No, this is, which line was it? Weekly, previous day low is here. So now Luna is within this range. From yesterday's candle, that was a doji candle. Okay, and I have marked like I said on buy zone yesterday, anything that's coming today back to those yesterday's bullish candle because you made a higher high, it is a buy. So wherever you bought it within this drop here, now price has bounced back, and if we are bullish today, they're gonna try to make a higher high. All right, so that was the trade from yesterday, and Luna for me is still looking bullish. I mean, we are still in this range. Obviously, if we break down from yesterday's low, it's gonna be bearish. That is the red line here, previous day's low. And if we break up, I mean, a lot of traders are maybe some of the traders are sitting on the sideline looking for this resolution. If you go up, they're gonna buy the breakouts, and if you go down, they're gonna sell the breakdown here. So Luna, I mean, currently short term is still bullish. And I've got 2 new coin. I think there are some news on this Volcano Forged PYR. My team has bring some news to me on that one.
They sold, I think they started selling their land, and you can start earning I think it's up to 25 PYR a year. The reality is at the moment, it's the same thing. We're trading, we're scalping the momentum that we're currently experiencing, but this is not necessarily a long-term investment entry. So treat it as that, be a hustler with us, grab that entry and hustle it and see if it makes money. But I do believe that we're going to come back, and that would be another opportunity on the larger and a bigger time frame for us to grab this one and start riding it long term.
I wish they brought this news to me a little bit earlier, but if you count this correction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and boom, we changed the trend. Okay, so after this 7 swing correction here, we have 1, 2, 3. So it is not really a buy zone for investment. It is running a little bit away from us now. But if you look at 4-hour charts, and what I like about this is it could be a nice short-term trade. If you take this move here, whether from this candle or that candle, that is the bullish engulfing structure that is making higher high compared to those previous pivots here, or even this high. Now we had a higher high, come back. This will be my short-term or mid-term buy zone for this. If they want to come back and retest this previous pivot here at 11.26, so between 11.26 and 10.41, that would be a buy with a stop loss here at 9.22, and then my target will be those area. I mean, maybe they'll probably even go, try to make a higher high compared to those things, those previous resistance first, making a higher high and still come back. But then at that stage, we will have another level of fibs that we can work with. If they want to go first, making higher high, and then come back to them, in that buy area will be still approximately the same here. Okay, so I'm not gonna jump into this trade right now because I said it's bullish, and they're gonna go for higher highs. Because if you jump on the trade right now, where's your risk? It's gonna be really, if you buy here, then you have your risk. Your stop loss is still here at 32% risk, and for another 38. So it's close to 1-to-1 kind of ratio trade. So it's not like really, it's not a good trade, not a good deal.
Cool.
And then,
I think that's what we all have, what we've got time for. We're kind of running out of time.
Just last one.
We're going to do one more.
QuickSwap, and there were also some news on QuickSwap. QuickSwap, yesterday we had a huge candle like this, and left a little bit of unfinished business, in my opinion. So on a daily, there's no buy zone, but on a 4-hourly, if I take the same analysis that I did on PYR, if I only take this move, which is the candle who made higher high compared to all those previous supports or resistance, now the price retraced and we are straight right away in our buy zone. So if they want to finish the business here and making higher highs, so this is for me a risky trade, but still there's a trade to be taken here. If you take a trade here, your stop is here, because if they engulf this bullish structure, then it's going to be bad for the whole for this concept for QuickSwap. So if I have a trade like this and my TP1 is here, then I've got like 3 or 4-to-1 trade with 9% risk and 30% gain. I'm not saying that you need to put all your money and risk 10% of your capital for one trade. If your risk is maximum 2%, if you have $100, then use only $20 for this trade, for example. And yeah, that's it for me.
Great, thanks, buddy. Okay, guys, this is about time. I think this is about where we're gonna have to drop off. But guess what? There's more.
Bitcoin is going.
Bitcoin going.
It's Bitcoin, yeah. Bitcoin is going.
It's going same way. Right, guys. We've got a special guest. There's going to be another stream tonight. It's going to be 9 p.m. our time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we managed to get Gareth Soloway to come and join us and discuss why he sees Bitcoin at 20K. Now, like we said a while ago, we don't want to be trading and working within a little bubble. This is not what we do. We want to be getting other analysts as well, seeing how they go about and seeing what they are looking at that we might miss. We're human beings, and the goal is to make money. It's not to be the one that's right. So please go and have a look on Twitter. We're going to be sending the info through. It's going to be another one for you guys later tonight. And as usual, we're going to let the guy talk. We're not going to be interrupting. We're going to be taking our time, let him explain what he sees so that everybody can walk away out of that video and say, hey, now I know what the guy is on about. So I'm looking forward to it. Lee, I think you're looking forward to it. And everybody in the chat, just give us a 999 if you're going to be joining us tonight. I know it's going to be late for people in the UK time zone, but it's going to be well worth it. Other than that, Lee, I think it's time that we need to do one thing. We need to go hustle.
Let's hustle. I love that song, really.